And so it begins. Hey everybody, it's Boy 2 here with my first deck profile on Yu-Gi-Oh! My in case you guys don't know, the highest views on my channel is I believe it's my first YouTube video of Phantom Knights versus Destiny Heroes. So if you guys haven't, go check that video out. And I'm just gonna be doing a simple deck profile. Someone asked me to do a deck profile. Another thing you probably notice here is that all my cards look exactly like from the anime. Yes, this is not a mod. No kidding, guys. I literally had to do each of these cards and like just replace them with their original images one by one. Legit. So every card you see ever on, my Yu-Gi-Oh videos that's anime, I had to do those one by one. Uh, and just basically create all of them into anime textures because why like have something I can read up here when I can just read it right there and have like the image just right there, and it's so perfect. All right, so anyways, let's get started. So for monsters, first off, we have two Cloven Helms. Just because a lot of cards in this deck send themselves to the graveyard because it's mostly made of traps. So after a trap activates, most likely it goes to the graveyard. Any of these Phantom Knight traps go to the graveyard. This guy gets a 500 attack boost permanently. So this is like the powerhouse out of the normal deck. Two fragile armors, just in case one of your Phantom Knights get killed by an effect or something. You can just special have this guy as backup in your hand, and pull him out. Probably grab another level 4 monster to bring out, the big boss monster himself. We have three Ragged Gloves. Ragged Gloves gives, my rank 3 Break Sword a 1000 permanent attack boost as long as he's a material. So that's why I brought three of him. We have three Ancient Cloaks, which is probably the best starting monster out of your main deck because he can basically boost any dark monster on the field. So he can also provide support for your Xyz monsters or your other dark monsters in case they need one. And he can turn himself to defense. So it's also a free defense move. He's pretty balanced. Silent Boost. I'm Yeah, Silent Boost is the second best starting monster. You summon out this guy or this guy, and then he special summons himself and easy break sword right off the back. And of course break sword skill. So we'll get the break sword later. We have one Ghost Reaper of Winter Cherries, and that's probably I brought this card because a lot of times people when I was using this deck, people would bring super polymerization and try and create this guy. So that's why I put Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries in there because I just got tired of people using my monsters to bring out this stupid monster, which barely does anything. Kage Mucha Knight. So anytime you normal summon, this is an extra level 3 to put on the field. Got two of those. One Allure Darkness. I don't like banishing my dark monsters unless it's from their own effect, so that's why. Plus, you get the extra draw power. One Ties of the Brethren. These guys are all warriors, so it works that way. In case you like get like a bunch of traps and spells in one monster, you can use this card and bring out two other monsters. You can't conduct your battle phase, but you can't special summon any monsters, but this is like for you to have on the field the monster the same level. You can activate their effects from one another. So yeah, Dark Ruler no more because people just bring out crazy stuff on their first turn nowadays, and it just doesn't allow you to play the game. This is probably the only card that allows you to play the game. If you ask me, I believe Konami should make more cards like this so players can have a chance. Because a lot of people, I don't know what's wrong with them. They just like they do all this stuff on one turn, and then by the time they're done, you realize you can't really do anything on your turn except forfeit. And if you can, it's like a miracle or something. But this card is a miracle card. Three, rank up Magic the Phantom Knights launch. This card helps you go into I'm glad they brought this card back because without this card, it was like impossible to bring out Dark Requiem Dragon. you had to use John K and John Shane. That was literally the only way to bring out Dark Requiem. So I'm glad they brought this card back. We have two Phantom Knight Spear. This card can also protect your Phantom Knights. I don't really use it on the field. I kind of like destroy this card and put it in the graveyard to protect my dark monsters from card effects, so extra protection from the graveyard. XZ's territory for XZ support because this is a XZ deck. Chaos Zone because a lot of cards in this deck banish themselves and you can like just keep shuffling in and out, and you can summon a banished monster too, though I wouldn't rely on it that much. And then that's it for the spells. For the trap cards, this is the main base of the deck. For trap cards, I have two Phantom Knights Mist Claws. This also helps target a banished Phantom Knights monster, lets me add it to my hand, and this is protection from the graveyard as well. It can summon itself and an additional monster for backup if I don't have any monsters on my field and I'm getting direct attacked. This card is great. I use this card. I have two Phantom Knights of Dark Gauntlets, by the way. I use this card to send a spear into the graveyard to get protection for my dark monsters against effects. Because nowadays, all these monsters are coming out and like having the ability to instantly destroy cards the moment they hit the field. So that's what I like about this deck. It's got a lot of protection. One, Xyz Reborn, because why not? You know, you might just need that one extra Xyz monster. I mostly use it for Break Sword. Use Break Sword skill to sacrifice himself. Extra destruction. One Deep Dark Trap Hole, because like I said, your opponents nowadays, they just special summon a ton. And it's good to just target that one monster that might be a threat. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. There are a lot of times when you fighting zombies or something and they activate that stuff in effect, or maybe your opponent has a hand trap in their hand. You might want to negate that too. So I bought one copy of these. Two Phantom Knights of Lost Grace. So this card can protect. This card can make a card level 2. So you can use it on this card on your turn. You can use this card on your turn to bring out a Cursed Javelin, which I almost never do. He's most impossible to bring out because everybody's level 3 and level 4. But yeah, he makes the other monster level 4, and he protects your Phantom Knights from battle. So let's say you may need to shrink somebody's attack by 600, or maybe prevent your opponent from XZ summoning and, you know, mess around with their levels. It's fine. This card is really good. You know, it summons itself in defense and protects all Phantom Knights from battle the turn it's activated. One Mirror Force, because let's say you don't get any Phantom Knights card. Maybe you just get this card, that card, and maybe Wind Beast of Cherries. Just some extra protection. I picked Drowning Mirror Force because a lot of cards can't be destroyed by effects nowadays as well. So, like, it's just, you know, just put it back in the deck then. I brought this card to take down any dangerous continuous traps or any trap cards my opponent have. So if this card's in my graveyard, I can banish it, negate a trap the turn it's activated, or maybe a continuous trap that I need to get through to my opponents. It's also a free level 3 card as well. It's a free level 3 card as well in case you ever need one. I brought two wrong magnet rings to, deflect attacks, negate attacks. This is your two free negate attacks. And also, it can help you draw a card by sending another face-up card to the graveyard. So let's say you activate a spear, but then you activate this to negate attack. You can send this card, but you're also short on cards in your hand. So you're short on cards in your hand. You have this activated. Your opponent's about to attack. Use this magnet ring. Send this card to the graveyard to protect this card from battle. Or, you have magnet ring left. You can use magnet ring to draw you more cards. Wonder XZs, because, like I said, it's filled with a ton of trap cards. So let's say I activate this card, which is level 3. And let's see here. I activate this card, which is level 3, and maybe this card comes out. I don't know. Let's say I have a level 3 monster on the field, and my opponent's attacking. I can activate this card. I have 2 level 3s, but I also have Wonder XZs set face down. Once I have 2 level 3s, I can use Wonder XZs, bring out Break Sword. Maybe, it's this card and this card. Break Sword comes out with 3,000 attack. And it's more like a surprise attack from my opponent. We have two Phantom Knight Shadow Veil. Makes your monster stronger, or any monster stronger by 300, and it's protection from the grave. I just thank God there isn't, too many cards that can banish traps nowadays in Konami, because this deck would be completely nullified. Yeah, two of those, protection from the graves. Protection from card effects. I got three Phantom Knights Wing. It also grants 500 permanent attack points on any monster, so that's good. Two Shade Brigadine. A free level 4 monster, so I only get this monster and maybe a few bunch of cards, and I get this one as well. I can activate this on my first turn, summon my monster, bring out the boss monster right away. But I'm gonna get to the boss monster. I'm gonna get to that strategy later. Three Phantom Knights Fog Blade. This is just your negation. This is the best negation you have in this deck. So yeah. Two Phantom Knight Sword grants 800 additional permanent attack damage, and also protects your monsters from getting destroyed, and it can also do something while it's in the graveyard. One breakthrough skill, just for extra negation. You can negate once, and then on your opponent's turn you can negate again if you have to. So just extra negation. 1 second, plugging up my laptop. Okay, one Xyz Veil. So this is just grants extra protection from effects. Like, your opponent has to go through this card before he can get to the cards in your graveyard. So, like, overall, I hope you guys can see this deck coming together in terms of, like, protection against card effects and stuff. Two Dark Illusions. This is a deck full of dark monsters. So, Dark Illusion is very good. It's another negation against your opponent. A spell, in case your opponent trying to destroy a monster on the field, of course. And two Black Horn of Heavens. Your opponent special summons a Link monster or so. Send it, or just special summons a monster into the extra zone. Anyway. Yeah, they special summon a monster into the extra monster zone. They get completely destroyed by this card. But it's only the extra monster zone. I believe it used to be any monster zone, but the master rule changed it all. So that's all my traps. This deck is mainly consisted of traps. That's the main deck. Extra deck, one Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, purposely to use for Ghost Reaper in case your opponent got like a Super Poly hidden somewhere. Two Dark Requiem Dragons. This is the dragon you want to use for prolonged games. He's very powerful. He can negate opponents and drain their attack. And he can special summon one Xyz monster from the graveyard while doing it. Here's the main three cards of Dark Rebellion. This is the main boss monster. Now, Dark Rebellion, I highly recommend you only use Dark Rebellion for a finisher. Unlike his dragons from the other dimensions counterparts, this card is not made for prolonged dueling. So you only want to bring him out when you're going for the finishing blow. One Supreme King Dark Rebellion Dragon. This is also, let's say I have a Break Sword and I have this card in my hand. I could bring out Dark Rebellion, just like that. And Dark Rebellion kind of drains attack damage and gains attack damage. And, it's good. This card saved my life once in a duel, So three Break Swords, the best rank 3 you have in your deck. Break Sword can sacrifice himself. When he does, it's the easiest way to bring out Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. He can also target, another opponent's card on the field. So that's a free destruction. Maybe you can use this card to bait your opponent. Either way, this card gets destroyed. Now, honestly, if this card gets, I don't know that card called by the grave or something, where they banish a monster from the graveyard, there isn't really you can do. Not much you can do, but then again, that's why I got Chaos Zone. Chaos Zone ain't gonna work on this, so yeah, shame. So three Cursed Javelins, because this is a pure Phantom Knights deck. That's why I got 3 copies of everything, and Dark Rebellion, his ideal type is with the Phantom Knights. So yeah, that's mainly it. So you detach this. This card can negate effects, essentially, and turn a monster's attack to 0. And it's a quick effect. So, yeah, that's just something you need in case. For side deck, I just have 2 Booby Trap E's. And I'd never used them. They're just sitting on the side there. I can set one continuous trap card from my hand or graveyard to the field. So, this is a way to get Xyz Veil out. Maybe it's a way to get no, just Xyz Veil is a way to get your Phantom Knight's Fog Blade out. It's a way to get your Phantom Knight Sword out as well. But it can't, and the set card can be activated. All you gotta do is discard one card. But yeah, I almost never use it. So yeah, guys, as you can see, what I like, I don't have the new Phantom Knights cards inserted in here. You know, I know this EDO Pro and they're out, but this is just what I used in that particular video. This is the cards that I had to my disposal. One thing I want to go over is that you definitely want to go first with this deck consistently due to like just you having all the trap cards. Chances are you're going to draw more trap cards than you draw anything else in this duel. See if I go over here to test hand. Give it a moment to load. As you can see, I got an even amount of trap cards, one spell, one monster, and you know, it just works. So what you want to do, of course, you want to set your trap cards because they can't be activated. I don't have a level 3, but I'm going to set this card for a defense instead. I can end the turn right there. That's one hand. See? More trap cards. So, you know, you always want to try and go for that first turn. Get your traps set so they can be activated in the moment that you need them. And, of course, Silent Boots for defense because why not? And then you go to the third hand. Boom. I already got a negation, so I can normal summon this card. I'm not going to use Allure of Darkness. That's a gamble. You know, gamble at your own risk, but I wouldn't recommend you do it on the first turn. Just save it when you really need it. So now, when my opponent brings out a monster that's too strong or a monster that's really supportive, I got one negate. He trying to attack my monster, I got one, you know, boost to help Cloven Helm. And then if this card gets sent to the graveyard, well, if he has the power to defeat Cloven Helm, this card gets sent to the graveyard. Cloven Helm's effect activates and his attack goes up to 2,000, making him stronger. So, y'all see how that works?